Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk as we head into day number 2 here. First off, I'll give you a quick synopsis of the current setup, and then we'll get into, as always, the longer term and discuss things. Do want to mention right off the bat, we are likely going to get to that record territory again when it comes to temperatures. The record today is 82 degrees, and I do see the potential for us to get there, mainly because that south flow remains strong. We have a tendency to still overachieve. We do have some high clouds moving in. Yes, it's showing rain in Memphis. Now, a lot of that, once it works in our area, is even if the radar tried to show it, it wouldn't reach the ground. Our atmosphere is still very dry in our area. But having said that, the cloud cover is going to stream in. So we will see increasing clouds today. How quickly this cloud canopy gets here will be the key on if we hit the record or break it or we fall short. And at this point, again, we've got about a 23-degree climb to make from where we are now. We can do it. It just depends on, again, the cloud cover. So, don't worry about this portion, even though the radar may try to show some returns in the radar later. This is the front here, and it's slowing down because this high is a strong high, as we know. And the front's going to work its way slowly into, I would say, central Indiana. It's around midnight to 3 a.m. And then as we head through the morning rush tomorrow, it should be lining itself very close to the Ohio River. And then it'll move into southern Kentucky by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. And the way it's moving, if it holds its current track, we should get some sun breaks in here in the afternoon to get us to the high temperature tomorrow of about 70. But if the clouds linger too long, it's a 60-degree day, 60s for tomorrow. Not much rain, about a tenth of an inch, probably on the higher end, the way it's looking now. So we'll see how it goes. We're playing. We need as much rain as we can get, and this front is not going to do it. We will cool down. Could have our first decent frost for a lot of you as we head into Friday night and Saturday morning. I don't think we'll have it within the Snyder Freeway here in the metro. It may get close, but I don't see it happening yet. And we will cool down again, and then as we toward Election Day, that is where we are finally seeing some agreement. Yesterday, if you were watching the blog, we were talking about there were two pieces of energy that the models were struggling with, the northern branch feature and then a southern branch, and the models are trying to hold back on the southern portion. Today, the GFS and the Euro, GFS trended toward the Euro, by the way, on the idea of the northern feature would be progressive enough. So it looks like still it would be a chance for rain after the polls close for Tuesday. It'll be close. I think Indiana and Illinois may have some showers around, but for Louisville, we should warm up too. I should mention that. We may very well get back to the mid-70s before this little trough digs in. But we still got the piece hanging back. Because it is hanging back, we will likely see the pattern become stagnant, stall a bit as we head into Veterans Day and in the following weekend. So remaining cool, no rapid warm-ups expected because of that. So we're going to hold steady as long as this piece of energy is kind of hanging back here, and you see the ensembles of those GFS and the Euro do agree with that, a relatively cool and seasonable forecast. And then let me just fast forward here, all the way to the point where a lot of people are already talking on social media how we're going to see this big flip in mid-December. A couple things on that. First off, here's the trough. Digging in, this is the operational GFS. It's the only model that can see out that far as its day-to-day run or hour-to-hours run kind of deal. The ensembles, which smooth out the chaos a bit, and that's why I like looking at them. Really good agreement. In fact, excellent agreement that we will see a cool down around the 16th, 17th of the month. Now, just how cool or cold we get, that's still debatable because of this. This is the same deal that you're looking at, but a different value on the map. And this is the rain-snow line, this white line. Notice the rain-snow line on the GFS is a lot closer to us than it is on the Euro and Canadian. So we're not at this point looking at a frozen kind of deal here. But it does show a significant, on the operational run, a significant low pressure that moves through and then is responsible for really pulling that cold air in, which would be the driver for that change. I know a lot of you are thinking, how can we go from all this warm weather and this pattern we've been in and to a cold pattern without something giving, without some kind of severe weather event or something like that? I understand that thinking, and that is certainly possible. We've had transitions before without severe weather. It can happen, and usually a drought scenario is one that can allow that to happen, actually. So we'll have to see if the GFS is right or not. It's the only model we can really go with this far out, so I don't want to jump on it. That's why we just want to use the ensembles and say, yes, we do see a chance for some colder air. I wouldn't really... I guess compared to the 80s we're seeing today, it would be a flip, but I really don't see it a flip to a cold pattern. It's going to lock in or anything like that. I think it's just going to get us to the point where we would definitely have a frost and likely a freeze that would take place. Now, as far as snow goes, our average first date to get some snow in the area is around the 16th of November, measurable snow, and that's just 1/100 of an inch. So it's not unheard of to get maybe some snow getting awful close to the Ohio Valley at this time period, but it all depends on the storm system. You can have the ingredients set up for a colder pattern, but you got to have the storm system to give you the rest. And this far out, you just really don't know that answer. Nobody does. All I can tell you is that at least the groundwork has been laid for a colder transition, and we'll have to see how things go from there. One thing to watch for, and I know this is hard to read, and if you're watching your phone, I apologize. This is like looking at the globe, the Arctic Circle, like you're looking down on someone, like looking down at their head from above. All right. So here is the United States right in through here, and this is Siberia, Europe, and Asia over in here. At the moment, this is the way it's set up. The core of the cold, that pink, is over Siberia. All right. And we do have some warmer weather compared to the rest of it over portions of the Arctic. So that's the reason why we are not, nothing excessive though. There's still some cold pockets in the North Pole. But we're not really getting what we call the cross-polar flow. We need the cold air to come over. Now, the cold air doesn't necessarily move this way and sneak in from California. How we get our cold shots, it's cross-polar. It goes over the pole and then dives down into the United States. Looking ahead at the models down the road here, it still has the core, the portion of the polar vortex, still over Siberia, but we begin to open the gates up more. You start to see more of that pink showing up, where the cross-polar idea is beginning to kick in, and that is why I think the model is reacting to that and beginning to allow for that dive into the lower 48. We just don't know how much of a dive and how deep of a dive it'll take and how long that dive will stay. Those are questions we'll be answering in the coming days for sure. But at least we're seeing a sign of change, guys. Just keep in mind, and I stress this, I know a lot of you want to jump automatically on the 15th and 16th of November. That's it. It's hitting. When we see these transitions, they are usually slower than what the models indicate. So I'm thinking it's still going to be closer to the 20th, and Thanksgiving week may be the time period that a lot of this ends up happening. So between now and then, it's just going to be a return to seasonal weather is where we're going to likely happen. So the 80s today, I don't see a return of that. We may get warm again early next week before the election day front moves in, maybe some upper 70s in some areas, but as far as record-breaking potential, I think this may be it for a while. All right, so that's it. Way it stands today. Have fun. Enjoy the warm weather today, and we'll talk tomorrow.